Hmm. So this is the revenue budget. So this is how we do revenue budget financially, and then at the same time we are going to discuss it operationally as well. How to do the marketing activity. So you can clearly see this, or need to increase. Okay, enough now. Okay, so you can see now this is under the different business segments, correct? You can see this. Let me see. Yeah, correct. So the you have public business. So these segments are not actual. These are just only based on what I did it. So you need to follow your own actual segments. Okay. So now you can have segments, FITs, and then we made a segment for groups, and then the total. Now this is budget column. So we are doing budget in room nights and revenue. So ADR is just only a formula. So what we are doing is we are making it based on the previous year. So here you can say I've made a previous year one, means previous year of last year minus one. So you are looking at 2 years trend. So you are looking at both ways. So here you can see the last year, let's say the previous to previous year business was 8,000. Now is 9,000. The last year we are want to do it 10,000, which is so now we have done a variance percentage also compared to each year. So previous year and previous year one. So what we are looking at is okay. So now we can you can see here the increase versus 2 years. This is increase in 2 years. This is increase in 1 year. It's not that abnormally high, right? So here is you can see in this one we are working on both ways. 11 the revenue is increasing by 11%. The room nights, which is the volume, is increasing by 5%, and the rates are increasing by 5% also. But is it justified or not? That's a question, because previous year rate was 100, right? The room nights were 80. So this year we reduced the rate by 5, but we are able to achieve more on the occupancy. So this year what we are doing is we are increasing both, which is it may not be sustainable. The marketing may question it, but the thing is if you are making a budget like this, then you need to write down here, okay, now the marketing, so we are making a marketing budget at the same time, right? So public segment, so you are going to say what are you going to do, what are your strategies, how you are going to maintain the budget. So maybe you are, instead of increasing the rates, you are maybe you are saying that okay, because you have different room categories in the hotel, right? So maybe you are saying that okay, we will sell higher higher room categories, maybe suites, but how you are going to sell. So that's your strategy. So here you need to write down your strategy here. Okay, how you are going to sell your higher suites. So then you can come back to the next segment, wholesale segment. So you need to do marketing strategy for each segment separately. So your marketing team need to do it at the same time when they are making a budget. So when they are giving a number, so that the finance persons or even marketing peoples, they if you are doing a budget segment at the same time, then you can ask that you can make a judgment, is it reasonable or unreasonable, or what they are going to do. So then if you write down your notes here, then you can draw up a complete promotion chart, what you are going to do in January, February. So this is, let's say, for the month of April, but this is only 1 month budget. So now you need, what you can do is, once you set up the formula, once you set up the formula here, once you set up the everything, then what you need to just copy paste into another sheet, and then change the sheet to May. Sorry, not my, May. And then you can change the numbers for the month of May. And then you can do it for all the 12 months one by one, and then consolidate the sheet in one file, so that you have the one summary for whole year, month by month. And then you can review your budget for each month. Okay. I'm not teaching you the Excel. So I'm not doing it here. That one you can do. It's very easy to do. Okay, so this is the revenue budget. For example, let's say now in this corporate segment, we are not increasing the rate, but we are just increasing the room night by 11%. So there are two strategies for increasing the revenue. So revenue increase here is same 11%, but two different strategies. One strategy is increase the rate as well as increase the room night. Another one more strategy is increasing the room night, but don't touch the rates. or because corporate and wholesale here is a different strategy. I'm not saying you can increase the rate of wholesale market and increase the occupancy also, because wholesale market works in a different way. If you reduce the rate, then the occupancy will increase. Usually is like this. You reduce the rate, then the occupancy will increase. If you increase the rate, then occupancy will go down. Right? It's the demand and supply factor. And then here you can see we are reducing the rate but increasing the occupancy. So here you can see that occupancy is increasing by nearly 40%. So you think it's reasonably well, even though the rate is also increasing, correct? And the room nights are also increasing. So is it justified? May not be. It may not be justified. That is increasing both ways, increasing the rate and as well as increasing the occupancy. So the point which I am making here is to check how to check the sense of the budget, right? This is more on the fundamental aspects, because we cannot do the budget here, but we can check, right? We can check how. So this is how you are going to check. You are going to calculate the variances, room nights and the rates together and the overall, and then you will be able to understand, okay, how much is my revenue increasing, out of that what is my volume, what is my strategy. Is it strategy is to increase the room nights or increasing the rates? So if your hotel strategy is to increase the rates, here is not following that strategy, right? Is different, correct? So you can always go back and check the strategy and the budget is the same or not. That's why I was saying you need to know the strategy of the hotel. What is the strategy? Are you going to increase the rates or are you going to increase the volume? So if you are going to increase the rates, then this is not correct. But if you are going to go for a volume, means you may be reducing the rate. Then this strategy is correct. But the increase in the volume is unjustified. It's 40% increase, which is quite high. If unless the marketing department can have a very strategic plan, or the economic situations are really better, the age group of the Myanmar citizens are getting shorter, means that they are getting more married. So you will also, then you can correlate with your historic the demographics. What is the age of the average people when they marry? So these are all the marketing aspects. Okay. Any question on? You need to ask the questions now in the revenue budget, in the budgeting process, because I alone cannot think of all the situations. Anything here? Otherwise, I will move on.
Because I was memorizing, because it's quite different of the way how we do the budget. Like, to be honest, you have doing with the started with the banquet, right? Like what way can we combine it all together? Like for us, what we doing generally in the hotel, we used to have like 6 outlets. So when we're doing it, we just hit it with the 5, and then there's a ratio, how you call that?
So you are doing for each individual budget, each individual outlet.
Yes.
Okay, the outlets we will look it into a little bit more, because this is only for rooms. Okay.
For rooms only.
Yeah, this is only rooms. This is only rooms division. Only the rooms, not the banquet yet.
Because of the wedding.
No, wedding means that the guests are going to stay in the hotel for the weddings. There are like foreign weddings, the NRIs or other people who are coming from China or US or from other countries to come and do a destination wedding. So they can come and stay in the hotel as well, right? They are spending more on the hotel also and the banquet also. So the budget is different. For rooms division, they will go to rooms. So we have now how I am doing it. Maybe you have a different formula for doing the budget of revenue. This is how we do the budget for outlets. Individual outlet, one outlet. So what we do is we want to see, okay, we relate with the occupancy. So we do the budget for each meal period separately. For breakfast, and then we go for lunch, and then we go for dinner, and then we go for total, right? So we are doing budget for each and individual breakfast in each individual meal period. So how we are going to do is we are comparing with the room nights, how many room nights we have in each month, and then we are saying, okay, how many guests are going to stay in the hotel. So normally it's a ratio, right? Normally you have your ratio may be 1.7 guests per room, two guests per room, or 3 guests per room. So you can multiply that by to get the number of guests. Now, how many percent of the guests will eat in the hotel for breakfast? So that we are expecting. So normally the breakfast everybody eats because it's inclusive. So we can say 100%, right? Now, do you get outside covers for breakfast? If it's a city hotel, you can. So you need to identify how many outside covers I'm gonna get, right? Separately. Then you will get the total F&B covers for this restaurant in breakfast, correct? And then you are going to say, okay, how much is I'm gonna charge for food? How much I'm gonna charge for beverages? And why I'm doing it differently? Because the cost is different. So if you want to estimate your cost, you cannot estimate from total revenue only. You need to estimate from food separately, beverage separately. And then you are going to get the total revenue, right, for this one outlet, one meal period. And then you're going to go for the next one. How much business you can expect from the in-house guest, how much business you are going to get from outside guest, and then the total. And then how much they are going to spend for food and for beverage. These are just only the assumed numbers. They are not real numbers, but you can do with your real numbers. So then you have the dinner. So this is one outlet, only one outlet. So you will get a summary for total covers, total for each meal period, how many in-house covers, how many outside covers. So this will give you a ratio. This one, if you do it like this, then in future when you are measuring your performance, you remember if yesterday we discussed the cover analysis report, correct? So the cover analysis report, you are going to compare in-house and outside. So if you want to cover that, compare with your budget or compare with your last year, so your budget should also be done in the same way, right? You need to follow what you want to achieve in your future. So that's why I said in the first slide that is a yardstick to measure your performance. So you are measuring your performance in this year as a in-house cover, outside covers, food revenue separately, beverage revenue separately. So you are going to do the budget in the same fashion, so that you can capture your actual results in these yardsticks and then compare them with your budget. And then you will understand more detail of why your hotel or your restaurant is performing well or not well. Correct? So in this case, you get a summary of your revenue, right? And then you can plug in your food cost and food revenue. Then you can make more detail of your expenses. Okay, the expenses are how much is going to be your food cost. You can multiply with the food revenue. How much will be your beverage cost? You can multiply by the beverage revenue, right? And then you can do, okay, what is your plan for music? These are expenses. We're gonna look at the expenses in the next schedule. Huh? This is only the revenue part. So once you do this revenue part, the next step, what we were saying is to do a sample of budget.